I like to say it evolved from mission critical to mission essential. Really enjoy coming to London. This is the city I love. Even some of us were surprised when it was accepted. It was before me. This became probably the most important event in the world in the critical communications area.
Hello, Mladen.
Hello, Phil.
I'm today. Well, now I'm welcoming Mladen Vratonjic. Is that how to
Vratonjic.
Vratonjic?
That's great.
Yes, yeah. To Critical Communications Today podcast. It's ever so nice to have you.
Thank you very much. Glad to
Yeah, we're So first of all, I wanted to ask you this for a long time. We're in London. You really like the UK.
Oh yeah,
We're a big fan of the UK.
definitely. First, let's come from the end. When I decided to retire, I was thinking about I'm not able to travel anymore. It's quite enough, Traveling is becoming really an effort, except coming to the UK.
Right.
Right. This is indeed, it's for many years now that I really enjoy coming to London. This is the city I love. This is the city I believe I understand and that I know how it functions, and I can navigate in London without map, without GPS, without anything. I enjoy theaters, I enjoy happenings, I enjoy the music, I enjoy pubs, and above all, I enjoy people. For no reason or no evident reason, I feel close to the way you British people think and make decisions, and for you with your persistent and with your stubbornness, when you decide to do something, you will do it regardless to the old problems and whatever is happening. So this is always something I admired, and in simple words, I feel very well when I'm in London. So this is it.
Well, that's very nice to hear.
I'm very happy that London is the city where I'm retiring from my TCCA job, and that the Congress is this year in London. It couldn't be more glorious or better ending of this part of my career.
Good. Are you going to spend some time here after CCW is over?
Just Friday. Tomorrow I'm gonna stay in London and enjoy London, and try to get some last minute tickets for the theater, probably, if I manage.
As you say, this is your last CCW as chair.
Yep.
So, well, I'm really glad to talk about the last 10 years, obviously. And in the first instance, the way the sector's evolved over the course of the last 10 years. How the critical communication landscape has evolved, and what have been the implications of those changes? What are the implications of it?
First, thank you for telling me this is your last CCW as a chair, because in one interview a couple of days ago there was a constatation, this is your last CCW. I hope it's not.
No, I hope it's not too.
No.
You would be coming back.
This is just a joke. This was not with bad intentions. It was just slipped. So I was lucky to be last 11 years chairman of the board of TCCA, and to witness all the great changes that happened in our industry. When I came, there were a lot of talks about broadband and the beginning of standardization and the work we are doing there, but still the market was completely different. The market was more or less fragmented, with mostly standardized radio communication used in different areas of the world, but still different from each other, mostly not interoperable with each other. You have P25 in the States, you have Tetra here, DMR there, and things like this. And those are all standards, and the good standards and excellent communication means, but this market was as it was. It was, all those were ecosystems for themselves. I must say, this is maybe even not well known, but this is TCCA's credits go to TCCA for initiating inclusion of critical communication standards in global standardization process of mobile telephony, which is 4G, 5G, 6G, and whatever comes next. It was the idea of TCCA to propose, and at that time, standardization of 4G LTE was already underway, and it was something that the train that we had to, let's say, load the last wagon of that train and to influence this standardization process. So with this idea, it was accepted by 3GPP. And even some of us were surprised when it was accepted. And it was before me, just before me. And then how the new working groups in 3GPP have been formed, and the new standardization way was open for critical communications, uh, part of all the standards. But what is important, 3GPP is international body. So everybody from all over the world work together in 3GPP, meaning that result of the work of 3GPP is global standard. And now critical communications are becoming part of global standards, which is probably the most important thing that happened in the last period. Because of that, the number of players increased. Public operators were drawn in. When public operators are in, then the industry just comes together with them. So now we are witnessing a globalization, internationalization, huge number of players in critical communications. Plus, it was recognized, especially when public safety is concerned, it was recognized by many governments and political entities as an important part of life, and sometimes even necessary. I like to say it evolved from mission critical to mission essential, the critical communication. And so I believe that this is all transformation is happening throughout these 11 years I was chairing the association. It was our job to support it and to force it to happen, but I believe that we did that job very well, and I'm proud on what is happening now and what will be the future of critical communications.
10 years ago, did that start with the public safety use case, or was it the mission critical use case across the board in terms of being involved in standardization, the influence in relation to 3GPP? I assume it started well.
Well,
My assumption
it's
is it started with public safety.
yes, our percentages are, when you see most of our users are public safety. Then plus existing national Tetra and other networks are mostly public safety networks. In some of them, here and there, somebody else is included, but those are public safety. I would say that public safety is one of the main drivers in development of this industry, especially as you see how the worldwide situation regarding politics, economy is going from bad to worse.
Yeah, of course, the last decade and longer via something like the year of the how important something like EUCCS is now.
Oh yeah.
In relation to the European Commission.
Well, this is another good point. As the situation is now worldwide, globally, uh, Europe has recognized the necessity to work closer together. Plus, it's my favorite phrase. It's in French, which I don't speak, but it sounds something like "criminals sans frontières" or "criminals without borders."
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Europe is number of relatively small countries. Today in eras of globalization, in era of digitalization of everywhere, the crime doesn't know borders, and plus it's when we say about public safety and security, but when we talk about also other aspects of security, like climate changes are happening, and you have meteorological disasters and the happenings more often, which know no borders. And all political situation is that Europeans should try to rely more on themselves, and their products and solutions.
Yes.
So it is apparently as a result of this, there is a need to interconnect European critical communications and public safety and security systems together. And in this respect, is the EUCCS project, which is European Critical Communication Systems. And we are all aware that in spite of standardization that is happening, that is going to be, it's not enough to interconnect systems of different countries together. So there is a need for additional work also in standardization bodies. And TCCA contributed by converting its there is a technical committee at TCCE, which is the technical committee for Tetra critical communication evolution, which was completely supported actually by TCCA. And now this group has been transformed recently into a new group, which is called Technical Committee Critical Communication Systems, which is going to do double role. It is going to continue to take care about narrowband systems as Tetra, about the development of standards and maintaining of standards, but it's also going to take care about all necessary work in standardization, additional work that has to be done in order to make it possible to interconnect European critical communication systems and for them to work together. So it's all, again, I believe a contribution of TCCA to the happening.
Yeah, you can see direct parallels between that project and the interoperability between Norway, Sweden, and Finland.
I mean, Tetra.
Tetra.
Yeah, it is. There are a number of good things, if I may be more personal, let's say, in this moment. For example, TEDS, which is forgotten and actually never happened. TEDS was a data transfer with Tetra, which was really enabling a lot of good things with good programming, a lot of good data transfer for that time and for the requirements of public safety of first responders and others. It never worked. There was a called inter-system interface, which was part of Tetra standard, which was developed. It was not used for years. And then it was concluded actually that this standard should be reworked for better and cheaper version, which is IP. So the standard has been reworked, and now the Finland, Sweden, Norway decided to interconnect their systems so that they can, and it is a great achievement, came a bit late, but it is the right way how to do it. Also, many good things are coming from Nordic countries in the way of critical communication, I must say. So I'm really thank them for all their engagement and openness. And actually, my successor is coming from Finland, so it's
Yeah. Well, we were in Finland.
yeah, I'm sure this will be a very good move, and they will continue to contribute in the future also.
Yeah. Well, with that in mind, how would you say that CCW has evolved across the last 10 years?
Oh, well,
Obviously, we've been through a certain amount in that time.
My predecessor, Phil Godfrey, told me once that the first CCW, which is at that time Tetra World Congress, or what was exactly the name, in Berlin, 26, 27 years ago, was supposed, the room in the hotel was booked for 50 people, and it appeared 120. So I had immediately to find another room, to book bigger room for this. After 3 World Congresses, it evolved from hotel events to exhibition area event like it is now. And it was my first Tetra World Congress was 2005 in Frankfurt. At that time, I did not dream about that in 10 years' time I will be heading the TCCA, but it's life. And you see now what we have. But again, we had 250 exhibitors. We had thousands and thousands of people visiting, and we have three conference streams, 200 lecturers talking in the conference. The reason of that growth is also our entering in global, in the world of global standards and in the world of global communications, and which evidently is contributed to internationalization of TCCA. And you can see here we have, in this event, you will meet people from the US, people from Australia, people from New Zealand, people from South Korea and some other countries. So it's really I'm proud and happy that this became probably the most important event in the world in the critical communications area.
Yeah, absolutely. My first one, I think, was Berlin. Yeah, it was Berlin.
2018?
18. Yeah,
18,
that
yeah.
was. Yeah, that was a good show.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Well, the COVID came afterwards, and
Yeah, that's right.
it was not possible to achieve the numbers of that show
Yeah.
a couple of years
Yeah.
after. But then
Yeah.
we recovered after the COVID, and this is what we have now. And I think last year Brussels, this year London were really, really good events.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, our decision to hold events where we can have a local support, a local critical communication operator, I think was a good decision. It's a great help for the local market. It's also a boost for them in their achievement, in the work they are doing.
Finally, what would you say are the biggest challenges facing the sector going forward? Because things seem to be getting, the technology is becoming more sophisticated, the political situation is becoming more complicated.
Which it's hard to say, but it's our industry, because of this political situation, it's worse and worse. Our industry is becoming more and more important. But this is not something nobody would love this.
This is
but
not a good thing in and of
This is
itself.
not a good thing, but this is the fact. This is happening. There is one thing. Sometimes expectations are big. People tend to believe, and sometimes industry tends to promote this as a fact, as a push. That whenever there is a standard, then tomorrow we'll have a product. Then the day after tomorrow, it will be used everywhere, and it's it. Which is not true. There is a natural cycle in the industry, and it lasts. You can't shorten it from from specs and from standards to the finished completed product. To put it in use, there are years, and to rely on it, and you need to rely on critical communications. Now we don't talk about speed anymore. We talk about resilience. We talk about trust. This is how to redefine critical communications. So the speed is there. We are 5G has a speed.
Yeah, it's a
But-
given, isn't it? Yeah.
But we need to have deterministic performance. We need to be sure that this is performed every time when we push the button at the same in the same way, and it will provide what we expect because it saves lives. And up to many years have to pass before it is really reliable, saving lives. My message would be, industry and others, be cautious with your promises. There is a life cycle, there is something that lasts, it will happen. Inevitably, world is moving in the direction of broadband critical communication. So that's the future. But don't expect it to happen right now, if the time is needed. So more or less, that's it.
All right. Well, Mladen, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your questions and for having me with you.
No, thank you for coming on.
Thanks.
That was really good. Thank you.